Hey, sports fans, Larry Eder, Run Blog Run. This is our program, Socially in the Distance, but this is your favorite program, the Epilogue, because it's really a monologue where Larry talks and talks and talks and talks. Anyway, our featured athlete this week was Sandi Morris. Sandi is an Olympic silver medalist, world championship silver medalist, and American record holder in the pole vault. She is also one of the most astute athletes, I believe, in the land of social media. And I started the conversation with, how do you know what to reveal to the media and to your fans? And what's the line between private life and the world of athletics? I remember Rupert Murdoch saying years ago that when he was told there was 504 television stations, and he said, well, there's 504 opportunities to be mediocre. And that's true. Now you've got virtually gazillions of YouTube. I don't even know what the number is on YouTube channels. And I look at them as all little bitty TV stations, and some of them are better than others. I know that there's a goldfish that dances to the Macarena somewhere on YouTube or Reddit, right? And there's millions of people who have watched it. Now, just because millions of people watch something doesn't make it good, all right? Think about early Netflix and, the stuff that was on there. And now, like right now I'm watching The Crown, Young Wallander. What else are we watching? Just finished Gilmore Girls. Yeah, I watched all the episodes of that with my girlfriend, which was interesting. And I actually enjoyed it. And then been watching some great programming, but it's the quality of the programming. And what we're trying to do with RunBlogRun is develop higher quality programming. And so yesterday we had Sam Kendricks on. Today we have Sandi Morris. And we talked to Sandi about competing in Doha. She said, I thought it was more of, when I do a general description for the pole vault, which I say is a chess game in the sky. But the truth is this, is that sometimes it's just, okay, this is what I did. This is what you did. This is what I did. This is what you did. And in Doha, Sandi Morris and Anzelika Sidorova went jump for jump until they got to, I think, 495. And Sandi missed her three, and then Sidorova made her third one. Sandi told me she was observing Sidorova's coach, who just looked at her and said, you have to make this jump. Now, I had been in that situation watching Sidorova's coach back in February of 19 in Madrid at the Little Indoor there, which fantastic facility, seats about 2,000 people. And I was sitting with the coaches and was watching Sidorova's coach and trainer talk to her through the competition. It was fascinating to watch and helps give me kind of some background on how athletes operate and deal in the heat of competition. Sandi has dealt with an ankle injury, which has gotten better. But what it's done, it's affected her run-up, and she's added a couple steps to take a little bit of pressure off the ankle. By Doha, she was feeling pretty good. In 2020, she had a pretty full, pretty complete indoor season. But outdoors, she competed 2 times in her backyard, and she had a meet down in Florida, the virtual Weltklasse, and the Blue Oval. So not a lot of competitions for someone who probably averages 35 indoors and outs during a year. So she's been working on making herself a better vaulter this year. And you can see that the pandemic has affected her and has affected her in several ways. One of them was when she's in Arkansas, where does she train? Because the university's been closed down since March. And the first time she got on the outdoor facility was literally this last week. The indoor facility, well, the lovely track, which it sounds to me like it's Mondo, coming down from Canada, from Quebec probably, got stuck at the border, and it's going to be late too, but are they going to be able to train there? Don't know. So how do you train over the winter? That's going to be a challenge. And that's what athletes in every event are dealing with right now. It was interesting how Sandi described a pole vaulter. A sprinter and a jumper who vaults. She said if she was talking to a group of high school girls, she'd tell them, work on your leg speed, do hill repeats, build up your strength and speed, because that's what you need. And that's what most of the European athletes get. Some of the Americans do. I think some of the Americans sometimes don't like to do the core work and the overall fitness work. From medicine balls to kettlebells, all that stuff works and it's important. We talked just a bit about 2020 being postponed, which was a challenge for her, and it still remains a challenge because we're hoping for an event, but what's going to happen next year? What's going to happen in 2022? I'm pretty sure things will be okay in 2022. I still believe, and I'm trying to be reasonable, that 2021 is going to be a challenge as well. And I hope it's not going to be worse than 2020. But right now it's starting out pretty rough. Europe's going back on a lockdown again. Italy just closed 6 regions and is controlling travel within those regions and without. The UK is on a 4-week lockdown, and there's rumors that it's going to go longer. Germany's looking at a lockdown, and several countries in Europe are going to. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get something going in the U.S. too. We're dealing with our little election over here right now, and I just hope everybody can get along. That's all I have to say about that. Sandi Morris is a competitor. She likes to compete in everything. She kind of focuses her competition on things she's good at, talking a bit. She's not very good with throwing balls and playing soccer and stuff like that. But what she's good at, she competes and competes very hard. I look forward to seeing her next year in 2021 competing. She always does a great interview, and most of the time we see her at award ceremonies, and she is one of the most talkative and vocal of the medalists. But she's also been a fine medalist too, so that keeps it pretty cool. The women's pole vault is a highly competitive event. You know, you've got Anzelika Sidorova of Russia. You've got Katerina Stefanidi, Greece. You've got Sandi Morris and Kati Nagiot of the U.S. and Jen Shur of the U.S. You've got a global event. You've got fine Chinese vaulters as well. And the event has continued to rise. I mean, I remember Stacy Trigila in 2000 in Sydney, who started out as a heptathlete and a gymnast and became a pole vaulter and an Olympic gold medalist. And also probably one of the greatest vaulters ever. But she really pushed the vault into a whole new place. Women's vault became very popular. But I want to leave you with a little anecdote. Back in 1992, when I was publishing American Athletics magazine, before we had changed the name to American Track and Field, we had Carla Borovica on the cover. She was a steeplechaser, and she ran in the women's steeplechase in 1992, and I think it was at the U.S. Champs. And I put her on the cover, and I got a lovely note from a college coach who was gently chastising me and said, "Larry, you put a woman steeplechaser on the cover. What are you going to do next? Put a woman pole vaulter on the cover?" It was 4 years before we put a woman pole vaulter on the cover, I believe. I'll have to go back and check. But we did put women pole vaulters on the cover because, like all events, they all deserve to be on the covers. And that was a big challenge when you're doing the quarterly magazine. But Sandi Morris is an example, again, of athletes who give to their sport, who love their sport. No, they're very lucky doing the sport that they do. I think those things are all pretty cool, and I think those things are all very exciting. And wanted to thank Sandi again for giving us some time today. I want to thank Mike Deering for producing this, and also you might not even notice it, when our interview crashed, I had to go back and get the router working again. We came back on and we chatted for a little bit. I think we ended with talking a little bit about TV. I encourage people to check out YouTube. We have all our videos up there, and there's all kinds of other athletic videos as well. If you like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Please, please, if you love us, subscribe on the YouTube. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun. We're with the program Socialing the Distance. We featured Sandi Morris, Olympic and world champ silver medalist, and she is also the American record holder in the pole vault. Sandi, thank you. And thank you to our viewers and readers and listeners. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.